So when you first saw your panorama results last year, what was your initial reaction?
Um, I was devastated. It like felt like really hard on me because we when you teach, right, like every teacher, like you put a lot of effort and work and passion into what you do and how you plan and prepare your classes, and you do it all so that the kids want to learn, and the message was not going across. And when I read them, it felt like the kids were not happy with the class. They were not interested. They were not engaged. They didn't feel like I wanted to teach, or that I wanted to like re-explain things or go over things. It came across like I wasn't caring, and I was putting all that effort and that time into something that was not being received the right way.
Mm-hmm. So when you got your results, how did you kind of process them or make sense of them? What kind of helped you understand them?
Like, I mean, the relationship with some of my classes was not awesome last year. It was a very tough year. I had just moved. Things at home were not smooth either. Like with the move, like I didn't have everything as I wanted it. And so like it was a new school culture, two new subjects that I was teaching that I had never taught before. And so I knew things were not perfect, and part of it was expected, but it was like so much worse than I thought it would be that it was like hard to digest. So I I went and I talked to Wandera, and he recommended that I videotape myself to see how I sounded and how like my body language was, because sometimes like how you think you sound is not the same as how other people see it or how other people perceive it. And then like we had this like long conversation about how like kids appreciate and really can notice when somebody's like really being genuine and being relaxed, and they can sense like when you're tense and when you're not comfortable doing what you're doing, or when you're not being you. And videotaping myself, like I could see like I was not moving from one spot of the class. I was just like repeating words, like not explaining things well. I just like I was actually tense, and the kids could like totally sense it. So I talked to Sandy too. Like I had like lots of like good advice, and I decided to like remove myself from the front of the class and give more ownership to the students. And I prepared with Sandy this like poetry unit where like students in groups had to be the teacher for like 20 minutes of the class and teach the rest of the class a poem, like following the guidelines that I had given them, or like that I had modeled for them with other poems. And they got more voice, and I got to like sit down with them in little groups, and that allowed me like not to have to deal with so much like classroom management and discipline, and just like to be more relaxed with students on a one-on-one. And that really was like a turnaround, like in terms of like relationship with the students.
Were there any other things you did after you got that feedback to really, were there any other things you did differently as an educator?
Well, like I think like I didn't take it personal. It was not a personal attack. I think like students they're really honest, and so it's critical feedback that they're giving you. Like, is their opinion, this is how we perceive you, and it's not like this one student you're not having a good relationship with. It's like you're the student body that works with you. And it was not a one class. It was like it had to be more than one class, because obviously. So I just like wanted to see like what I could do to do better, and I wanted the students to see that I really cared. So I started taking like little steps. Like I would sit down next to students in learning lab and just like have like small talk. I wanted them to see me as a person, not like as the teacher, and like perhaps not like serious and tense all the time, but like relaxed and like doing jokes or like having interest on their personal life and things of the nature. That also helped me see them as people and not like students in the room that were just there to learn. They were like, you know, people with interests and with problems and with opinions about other things that were not literature. So that helped build relationships.
Going into this year, is there anything that you're prioritizing or you started prioritizing as a result of this feedback?
Well, I think like the change, the main change with this year is that I already know the school culture, and I already know like the student body, and I know like how to work here, because this is a very different school to like any other school that I had worked on at. Like in other schools, for instance, like teachers had respect, or students had respect for teachers just because they're adults or just because they're the teacher. And here I found like the first thing that I got was more pushback than actual respect, and the respect came later with like my involvement and my engagement in their lives, and like by doing my work. And this year it's already different, so I have already like built a relationship with students. I have already taught the subjects 1 year, and I've already been here for 1 year. So like things, I'm more relaxed and I'm more genuine, like natural. I'm more myself, and I think like that already like makes a huge difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.